Now I'm out here today making a video. I'm on Hope Avenue and I've got the Spice Girls with me. Lovely little puppies who've grown up into be about 5 or 6 weeks old now. They're causing absolute mayhem, as you can hear at my feet. But I wanted to make a video today about the hard choices that are involved with dogs. I've had a few sleepless nights recently. You can probably see the wrinkles on my eye. But one of the most common things is that I get asked is how much people would love to run their own dog sanctuary or look after dogs. But I wanted to use a few of the dogs that we have at the moment, including the Spice Girls. So you can see they're hiding in there from the shade. To just explain the tough decisions that we have to make. So we don't take in puppies, for example, because puppies are an awful lot of work. And if they've got a mother, that's great. The mother can look after them, and that's how nature works. But unfortunately, these 5 little terrors, the Spice Girls, didn't have a mother. They were taken away from their mother and dumped, and they were in the heat like this. They wouldn't have survived more than 3 hours. But I want to talk in this video today about a few of the dogs that we've had here, but one in particular. We're going to see Oreo. He was an incredibly hard decision. He's still alive. We're going to meet him at the end of the video. He's doing a lot better, but he has possibly been the toughest decision I've had for quite a long time. And unfortunately, I know this sounds very black and white, but sometimes you have to decide if dogs are going to live or die. And it's the same as doctors or vets, but I find it incredibly hard. I've had a lot of sleepless nights. But from dogs like Mario, Billy, and the little Spice Girls over there behind me, it's easy maybe if you've got a pet. And it doesn't always come down to money, but it's easy if you've got a pet, like my old dog Snoop or your pet at home, and a vet comes to you and says that a bill is $1,000 or €1,000 or whatever the number is, you're going to find that money because we all love our pets. But when you're dealing with many dogs, it's a lot more difficult and resources are limited. And it's not just a case of money, it's also a case of time. So looking after those 5 little terrors over there doesn't cost that much apart from goat's milk and a bit of food. It's more looking after them. So we have to build pens, we have to feed them 4 or 5 times a day at the start. We had to nearly hand feed them at the very start. So it's massively time consuming and it takes you away from other work. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go and find a quiet place so as I can tell you about the remarkable story of Oreo. Now this is coming up later in the video. If you are scared of spiders, I would not watch the end of this video. It's probably the biggest spider I've ever seen in my life. I'll show him to you later on. I spotted him as I was filming Oreo. So watch out later in the video for possibly the biggest spider I've ever seen in my life. Now it's the hottest time of the day here. I'm trying to hide from the puppies, but they keep finding me. Just on cue, she walks into shot. They're big enough now to run around the place. Now the dog that I wanted to tell you about today is Oreo. I didn't know him. He's some very good friends who feed street dogs called Mark and Noops. Are the owners of Celine, who you might remember, who had the broken leg. But they came to me and they said, look, we've got this very sick dog. We've tried everything. Been working on him for 4 or 5 days with tablets from the vet. But he'd taken a turn for the worse then when he came in. Literally overnight. To the point where he was going to die. He was about an hour away from death. Actually, I thought he was about 20 minutes away from death. We see so many dogs that you kind of start to know the symptoms or the signs. His breathing was incredibly shallow and he was just like a rock. He was about to die, clearly. So we had one decision then to make. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, vets are closed. And the decision was, who do I feel behind me? There's always one of them behind me, look. Up, you can never get away from them. I'm trying to tell a story about Oreo. Look at that. Good news about these ones is 3 of them are being adopted, but I can't really say that yet because they're not leaving until Thursday, but that's a little secret. Oreo was about to die, so we had a very tricky decision. Sybil said, yeah, we can save him, but it's a blood transfusion. There's one place that can do blood transfusions on the island, and it's about, with treatment and staying there, $1,000, okay? So this is a dog, street dog, very sick, about to die, $1,000. Now, as I said at the start of the video, if it's your own dog, your pet, whatever, you're going to spend that $1,000 absolutely straight away. We've probably all been in that position with a sick dog or even a relative, and you're just like, yeah, spend the money, I don't care. I just want my pet or my beloved dog or my cat or even yourself. I want myself cured, pay the money. Now, what I have to take into account is that we have limited resources. Like, genuinely, you can't fix every street dog. There's 50 Oreos, 100 Oreos, and $1,000 is a lot of money. And when I think of what I'm responsible of, is I think of sometimes I'll get little handwritten notes from kids, and they'll be like, here's my pocket money, and it's $5. And that's a lot of money. Or I'll get donations from people and they'll be like, here's my $3, I'm gonna forego a Frappuccino this weekend, I'd like you to spend it on the dogs. So I feel a high sense of responsibility. I can't just throw $1,000 at every dog that comes along to fix it. But anyway, much thought went into it, in about as much thought as you can put into 30 minutes, and we decided to do the blood transfusion. So Oreo had a chance. I wouldn't say it was a great chance, but he had a chance, and that got him through the first 2 days. But then the real drama started. He needed another blood transfusion. So basically, long story short, his bill got up to just under $2,000. And the hardest part of all this was we didn't know if that $2,000 was going to be well spent or if he'd even live. And that's actually Oreo, you can hear whining in the background. He's still alive, that's the good news. But during that week, I cannot explain how many sleepless nights there was, how much, I don't care, I could find the money, like you could find the money somewhere. But the thing that I need to explain is for $2,000, I can sterilize 40 dogs. That's what we do. We sterilize dogs with our partners. 40 dogs sterilized could stop about 400 or 500 puppies coming into the world and suffering. So do you treat the one dog, Oreo, and hopefully save his life, not even 50-50, less than 50-50, or do you say, sorry, we don't have the money, we're going to sterilize the dogs and look at the bigger picture? It's an impossible conundrum. Luckily, Oreo's still alive. Let's go and meet him now, and I'll tell you the answer that I have to that tricky problem. It's the rescuer's dilemma. It's everybody's problem. Do you save one or do you save many? Do you save the one who's right in front of you, or do you look at the bigger picture? Let's go and see how Oreo is doing 9 days after he got his first blood transfusion. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more content like this, it would be awesome if you could subscribe. Myself and Oreo would absolutely love that. Look at that smile, Oreo. A big subscribe for Oreo would be well received, wouldn't it, mister? Now, I told you that Mr. Mario was doing a lot better. He's standing up. He's a wonderful dog. This is him 9 days after he's had his couple of blood transfusions. We could tell he was so sick because you'd look at his gums now, they're a tiny bit pink, but if you'll see in the videos that we share, his gums were literally as pale as could be, and he had anemia, very serious anemia. He had tick fever, he had blood parasites, and he was about to die basically. So the 2 blood transfusions and the oxygen and the vet care 24/7. He was in there for 8 days. That's what saved his life. He still has a little bit of a battle to go, but you can see he's come around. So this dog has been saved, Mario. I'm going to just let him go off camera because he's really trying to regulate his temperature. He's going to have a little lie down, I think. Yeah, he's gone for a little lie down. So it's wonderful for Oreo. I'm just looking at him lying down, and he's really the best boy there ever was. We have him in here where it's a little bit cooler, in the medical container, we call it, just so as he can get some peace and quiet, and he really needs to relax. So at the end of the day, it's a very happy story. Oreo is alive, and it's cost $2,000. So what is the... I've just seen a huge spider. I'm going to show you that on the video at the moment. People will be terrified of that. I think it's one of the biggest spiders I've ever seen. It's outside the medical container though, but I will show you that in a second. The point of the story is Oreo is alive, and we're very happy about that. Could we have spent the money on saving 40 other dogs? This is where I'd love to hear people's comments. And I know everybody will say, no, you're right to save Oreo. Every life is important, etc. And I agree with that, and I think every rescuer watching this and every person, dog lover, etc. would find the money to save Oreo. But you can't find the money to save every street dog. So in actual fact, the best thing to do is save the 40 dogs and let Oreo die. That's really, really hard to say. Even saying it, I feel terrible. But, you know, in the huge scheme of things, that would help dogs quicker. Now, that's not what we did. We helped Oreo. The reason I was able to help Oreo, I've got a fudge to the end of this story. There's no, I was lucky that I don't have to make that choice. I shared Oreo's story. I didn't share it at the start because quite honestly, I thought he was going to die. So 7 days in, I shared it on Twitter and I was like, this is the dilemma I have and what do people think, etc. And amazingly, lots of people wanted to donate to Oreo. Didn't ask, didn't say anything. We had it covered because we had a little bit of extra money for sick dogs, but people donated. They were like, we want this to go to Oreo, and Oreo got all his medical fees covered, which is just unbelievable. So I still was able to keep the rest of the money for sterilizing, which is what we do. So I'm lucky that I have a fudge for it. I didn't really have to make the decision, but what would you do in a similar place is what I'd love to know, because it's like, I swear to God, I struggled sleeping. I really didn't sleep very well last week, and I had about 4 or 5 of these decisions going on at the same time. Not always money related, not always, sometimes you might have to think about putting a dog down who's so sick that, you know, like your pet, that you can't do anything for. When's the right time? And you might have 4 or 5 of those on the go. You might have, like, we spent close to $10,000 on operations, Billy, Mario, etc., Oreo, in the last 6 weeks. That's crazy. So that sort of money doesn't always exist. The spider is huge. So really, it's the number one rescuer's conundrum, but the end of the story is Oreo is saved. We are sterilizing more dogs than we ever have. So everything has worked out well in the end, but my God, they are tough decisions. And I just wanted to give people a bit of an insight into what the decisions are like. But looking at Oreo sitting here smiling back at me, still a way to go in his recovery, I feel like the decision was right. And Oreo's alive. That's all that matters really, isn't it? So thanks very much for watching. If you are still here and want to subscribe or like the video, it would be massively appreciated. Thank you very much. Now, I wasn't joking when I said that's maybe the biggest spider I've ever seen. He's enormous. What is that? He's like metal plated, look. Can you see that? Wow. He's literally metal plated. That is a monster. I'm lucky I'm not scared of them, but I think that's going to terrify a few people. Can I get even closer? Why has he got like armor on him? Oh my God. Look at that. Look at him.